recording. And we are not going to run this like a traditional team call. And when I say that, what I mean is I'm not going to open up the floor for shout outs. Instead, what I'm going to say to you is if you have someone you want to shout out, as soon as we get off the call, I want you to go into the team page and I want you to shout them out. That way everyone hears it, whether they hear the recording or are on the call. And that way we're not spending the next 5 minutes doing shout outs because we have loads of stuff to share. And I don't want, it's not a waste of time, but I don't want to prioritize that time on that. I want to prioritize it on what we have to share. So the first thing we're going to do tonight is I'm going to share my screen because I have something that I want to share with you that's just going to kind of give you the overall announcements, I guess, that were shared with us at Summit. There was a ton, and it can be overwhelming. So I wanted to go ahead and there we go. I guess that's the way I'm going to be able to show it. But I wanted to go ahead and go over them. So one of the things that I love about Summit is you get a lot of exciting announcements. What I don't want you to do, and what was very easy for me to get wrapped up in until I came home and had a minute to breathe, was to focus on what's coming because we have so much happening right now. And you really need to make sure you give the stuff that's happening right now proper attention. Like, yes, it's really exciting that we have that 6-week program with that trainer who's going to like cuss you out if you don't stick with it. It's really exciting that we have vegan beach bars coming. It's really exciting that we have a Christmas flavor and a pumpkin flavor coming back. But we also have some really exciting things happening right now. So I don't want you to get hung up on what's to come because that's coming. It's not here yet. We have a lot of stuff here right now that needs our attention and that we need to be promoting because it's super awesome. The next thing I really want to say is we're all coming back from Summit feeling this shift, whether it be a shift in our mental game, our emotional game, our physical game. Like some of us came back like amped to get back on our nutrition plans, amped to jump into MM100 and push play every morning. Some of us came back amped to like set some goals, really dig deep and push ourselves like we've never pushed ourselves before. I do not want in 2 or 3 weeks you to like say, you know what, that's gone. Now I'm just like settling into this Summit hangover. You've got to keep the momentum going. So keep the excitement. If there's someone that you talked to about your goals at Summit, plug in with them more. There must be a reason why you went to that person and opened up to them. And we're going to start talking more about our goals as a team. We're going to have some calls where we can all get on and like really dig deep and try to reverse engineer those goals so we know exactly what we're going to be doing. But what you need to do, it is not my job. This is another one of the things I learned from Summit, and you need to learn it too when it comes to your downline and when it comes to your challengers, is it is not my job to motivate you. That is something you have to do on your own. So it's my job to lead by example and keep my momentum going and our team's momentum going, but it's not my responsibility to keep your momentum going. You're responsible for that. So own it. This is your moment right now. Own it. Okay. So what that means is we need to be proactive instead of reactive. And I have preached on this before. You need to focus on what is happening now. Be proactive. Think about what you have in your toolkit right now. Don't just come back from Summit and start word vomiting all this stuff that you learned while you were at Summit because that's your natural reaction. We got excited. There's some stuff that some of us have been wanting, like collagen and a vegan beach bar and a peppermint mocha flavor Shakeology. Some of us have been wanting that for years now. But don't react to that and then spew it all over your social media and to your current customers or clients because that's not being proactive. Being proactive is taking what you have right now in your toolkit, like your MM100 journal, your MM100 recipe book, the prep workouts that you've already been doing, things like that, and using those to keep your momentum going. What I want you to do, if you haven't already done it, is review your notes and try to condense them. Find your top 10 ideas that you took away from Summit. Some of you hopefully already have done this because you are going to be sharing a little bit tonight. And then decide on the 3 big things you're going to make happen in this calendar year. So that means you have 5 to 6-ish months left in this year. Out of those 10 big ideas, what are 3 things you're going to take and actually make happen, put into action? And then take those 3 things and turn them into a timeline so that you actually set a date and make a date with yourself to accomplish those things, or to accomplish a stepping stone that's going to lead you to those things. So if you need to, come up with a plan of action, that's what I want you to do. Find your top 10 ideas, decide on the 3 you're going to make happen in the next 6 months, and then come up with some type of time frame, whether it be a timeline or just on your calendar. What are you going to do by this date in order to make this happen? And then, of course, if you have not listened to the National Wake Up Call with Brittany Leggett yet, you need to. It was amazing. She had tons of ideas, and the National Wake Up Call should be a non-negotiable anyway. Be an independent leader. So something that happens a lot is people asking questions that generally we can find the answers to ourselves. So always check the FAQs if you don't know the answer to your question. If you still can't figure out the answer to your question, hop it in the team page. Or if you have like I know Melissa texts me and we work closely together. I'll text Christy and Skylar and Sarah and ask them questions sometimes, because sometimes they have the answer real quick. Like the other day, it was like something like, how much is the digital unlock versus the one with the journal? And they knew the answers real quick off the bat without me having to look it up. I knew they would probably know that. But if it's something like, I don't know, how many Success Club points do I need to have to earn the Jericho bobblehead? You may want to check the FAQ. People might not have that memorized, that kind of thing. Do you ask yourself these 3 questions in this order when you come up with a problem? What could I do? What could I learn? Who can I ask? These are questions you should be asking yourself every single time you are presented with a challenge, no matter what the challenge is, whether it's business related, fitness related, nutrition related. What can I do? What can I learn? Who can I ask? You have to own it. This is your moment, okay? Coach Summit 2020. So we all know that Coach Summit 2020 was announced. You can register now at coachsummit.com. Pricing is $150 until the 28th. So you've only got like another week to get it at that price. After the 28th, it increases to $225. New coaches between July 4th and June 19th of 2020, your price will be $145. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want new coaches there. We know how much this conference, I guess I'll call it, is how beneficial it is to your business. And so we want new coaches there. Success Starters, which is if you get Success Club 5 in the first 3 months of your business, you get to go for free. Your goal is to bring at least 5 coaches with you. So if you have a minimum of 5 people in your downline, your goal is to bring 5 of those people with you to Summit. It's a really cool thing to watch your coaches and then their coaches and then their coaches and then their coaches be at Summit and hear the stories and see the success and come back reignited with that fire in their belly. And you all want to experience that. So try to bring, if you have 2 coaches, try to bring one of them with you. Whoever is not muted, do you mind muting yourself for me? FAQ for Coach Summit 2020 is $1,226. Lodging was available as of today, I believe, for everybody. There is a cancellation fee, $25 on all rooms when you go through Experian, but it's only $25. I would highly recommend, because this has happened to me twice now, that you only get a room with people who you you really know their like ticket is purchased or it's going to be purchased, or if they don't show up, they're going to at least pay their part of the hotel room for you, so you don't end up getting screwed over. The morning meltdown, I'm not going to take time to go through all this. You all know this. We've been talking about it for weeks now. Michelle did a phenomenal team call on it, but that was the biggest announcement because it's now available for customers to purchase. The promo codes was the other big announcement, and hopefully you all know that. I've posted about it in our team page a couple times now. The new enrolling coaches also get promo codes. So let's say you signed a new coach today, they're going to get 3 promo codes as well. So teach them how to use them. That is such a fantastic way to get new coaches set up for success and get that success starter building already so that they can earn their free ticket to Summit. Beachbody Collagen Boost was released while we were there. It's phenomenal if you haven't already tried it. I've been posting a little bit of information about it in the team page every day this week because I do think it's important that you understand that this collagen is different. It is not loaded with a lot of protein like collagen that a lot of us were buying from Amazon. Therefore, it's not going to really help joints, pain or lubrication or anything like that of joints, which is something I was using my collagen for as I'm training for my half marathon. So that's something important for your people to know. If you have someone coming to you with arthritis asking you about collagen, our collagen is probably not going to help their arthritis. It is going to help their nails, hair, and skin and elasticity and all that, but it's not going to help that joint pain that they're experiencing. All of the amazing cool stuff that was at Summit in the core is available online. I already have 2 things in my cart that were sold out at the core. So make sure you visit that if you haven't already. Super Weekend Open House. Hopefully you all have plans to go to a Super Weekend. I'm actually hosting one in my own home that weekend. If you still want to do that, it is not hard at all to sign up. Beachbody has essentially set us up for success with the videos and everything we need. It's just going to be our responsibility to make it warm and welcoming and engaging for those that come. There were lots of Summit announcements. One of them was the Succeed Together hashtag for Instagram. Essentially what you need to do is just what you see a lot of us doing, create a list of 5 or 10 people who have committed to a challenge pack this month with you. Hashtag it Succeed Together, and Carl is going to be giving 10 people $100 a day for, I don't even know, the rest of the month maybe, so that, little bonus. And then, of course, these are the things that are coming in the future. These are the things that, yes, it's okay to get excited about, but we don't need to focus on them necessarily this week or even in July, because it's only July and the first one isn't even coming out until September. So we have time to prep for them. But yes, get excited about them. We have Pumpkin Spice Shakeology coming. We have the 6 weeks of the work with the little more risque type style from the trainer. In November, we have Peppermint Mocha Shako. In the winter, we have the Pure Barre classes that are going to be on demand. We also have the Chocolate Almond Vegan Beach Bars coming out. In the second quarter of 2020, we have the France launch. And then, of course, in July of 2020, we have Coach Summit in New Orleans. And I am going to stop sharing my screen now. Maybe, if I can figure out how. Sorry, am I making it all go crazy for you? There we go. There we go. And I'm going to let Christy take over and share her biggest takeaways from Summit. And then I have a list of people who said they would definitely be on the call tonight that attended Summit. And I'm just going to call you out and have you share too. And at the end, I can share mine.
Okay, can you guys hear me? You don't hear me? Okay. So I took a lot of notes. I'm a teacher and I'm a learner. I'm a lifelong learner, and I love to take notes at these conventions. And it's always so weird for me, for people to just be sitting there and watching and listening and not taking notes, where I'm like furiously taking notes. So I had to look through everything and really decide what I wanted to share with you guys, because I don't want to overwhelm you, especially if you didn't go to Summit, but because there's so many amazing nuggets that I got. But one thing that I need to focus on, so I decided that I was going to share with you, is more about sharing the business. I can share the product and the transformation stories all day long because that's easy, right? We get amazing transformation stories with these products and with the programs. But what I always struggle with is sharing about the business. So I wanted to kind of teach you a little bit about some of the things that I learned from the Summit about sharing the business more efficiently and effectively, and kind of seamlessly into your stories and into your posts. The first thing I want to tell you guys is that it starts with your mindset. I know that it's so big, but y'all, what you tell yourself is what you're going to do. So if you feel like you deserve it, then you're going to go out and you're going to get it. But if you tell yourself that you don't, or that you won't, or you can't, then you're not. End of story, period. So it starts with your mindset, and you need to tell yourself, hands of bitch, yes. You need to tell yourself, I will do this. You need to open yourself up to the possibilities of this business, because really there are some amazing possibilities, and the people that walk the stage this week are proof that this business is truly life-changing, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and financially. So you have to start by telling yourself that I will do this and I can do this. It's just going to take work. One thing that's not business related that I do want to tell you guys, that if you are selling Morning Meltdown 100, try to upsell using the nutrition plan, because you guys all know the nutrition plan is 80% of your results. And so many people overestimate the power of exercise and underestimate the power of nutrition. And so if you upsell, yeah, girl, I know, me too. So if you upsell the nutrition plan, either UPF or QB Mindset, it's only $50 for the digital stuff. So because it's severely discounted if you add it to a challenge pack this month. So, oh crap, I'm going to lose battery. Hold on. So it's severely discounted. It's only $50 if you buy it with a challenge pack. So make sure that you encourage your challengers, talk to them about that. What do they struggle with? Do they struggle with portion control? Do they struggle with knowing what to eat, etc.? So try to upsell that. Okay, so talking more about the business, I want you guys to share more about the business if you truly want an income. Because if you're just selling challenge packs, a lot of times that's not going to be residual income. But if you're sharing about the business and you're building those coaches, and those coaches are working, then you're going to get those cycle bonuses. And y'all, let me tell you, those are freaking amazing. Those team cycle bonuses, and then the matching bonuses, those are where it's at. And so make sure that you share about the business so that you can reap the benefits of those bonuses rather than just simply the retail. And educate yourself on the comp plan, because like I said, those cycle bonuses and the matching bonuses are pretty awesome. It's pretty cool when $200 of my paycheck is just from team cycle bonuses. So it's pretty awesome. And then I want you to think about, as far as the business is concerned, how much time, sorry guys, how much time can you realistically devote to this business? I want you to write it down, and I want you to schedule it into your calendar. Even if it's an hour, that's more time than you would have spent before. So schedule it, time block it into your calendar, make it sacred. Don't make excuses. If you truly want to build this business and you truly want to make money doing this business, y'all, I'm on freaking vacation, and I'm here. I'm showing up. I could have made the excuse not to. Bruce Jeffrey Lockhart, I need you to go. Can someone please take him?
Person here, I need to tell you a secret.
Sorry, guys. I'm on vacation. So anyway, I'm on vacation, but I'm still here. I'm still showing up. And I could have made the excuse not to. But this business is really important to me, and sharing with you guys is really important to me. So I made time, even if it's a mess, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to happen. You just have to do it. I told you, Lindsay, this is going to be longer than 5 minutes. Let's see. Oh, one thing. So many people, and I am, what?
You're my little summer.
So many people in my, so yeah, so many people, and myself included, I say, if only I could find working coaches, right? How many times have you said that? If only I can find working coaches. Have you said that before? Yeah. Y'all, we don't find working coaches. We build working coaches. You find people who have that tug on their heart, who want to make a difference, who want to earn an additional income, and you build them. And how do you build them? By walking the walk and not just talking the talk. You've got to make Success Club negotiable. If you want your coaches to hit Success Club, you've got to hit Success Club too. You've got to show up every single day and prove to them that it can be done, or else they're going to do exactly what you do, okay? So you've got to make sure that you are walking the walk and not just talking the talk. And I know that I'm guilty. I don't share on the team page about, change a life, and maybe I should, I don't, but I'm changing some lives. And doing it too. I'm in the trenches with them, and I want them to know that it can be done. A full-time working, busy mom, it can be done in just a pocket of your day. Share the small wins. Maybe your income is paying for gas. Maybe it's paying for your nails. Maybe it's paying for organic food. It's giving you breathing room. Share those small wins throughout your coaching time. And because a lot of the times people aren't going to be able to relate to the fact that you are making all of this. Let's say you're making all this money. I know Lindsay makes, $3,000 or $4,000 a month. A lot of people can't relate to that. So if you just share those small wins that, oh, I was able to pay for my groceries this week with my coaching income, people are going to be able to relate to that and connect to that. That, holy shit, that's going to give me some breathing room that I didn't have in the first place. And I'm not going to be living paycheck to paycheck anymore. This is where I am going to start getting better at is because I'm so insecure and not confident to share about the business. I'm going to share about the business because sharing about the business is going to build confidence. You can't just expect to be confident right off the bat. It's going to build momentum and build that confidence as you continue to share about it. So just rip off the freaking Band-Aid and do it. Today, I got on my stories and I talked some and I was like, y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't shared a whole lot about the business because I didn't really know what to say, but I'm going to do better about it because I'm doing a disservice to you, not sharing about this opportunity. So your followers are following you because of you, because they love you. So just be honest and open with them and share about it. Show them the unsexy part about you working behind the scenes because they do need to know it's work. It's not all glamorous and everything, but they do need to know that it's going to take a little bit of work and take a little bit of sacrifice. So share that. You don't have to share it in a post, but stories are super simple. They don't have to be scripted. They don't have to be pretty. I show up without my makeup all the freaking time. So it's just being you, and they're going to love you. And so when you're sharing and you're sharing about the business opportunity, make sure that they know that you lead a team because you are a leader. You're here. You are a leader. You get people results. And you mentor others to help other people get results as well. Make sure that you're knowledgeable of the products, just like what Lindsay was talking about earlier. Make sure that you know about the products that we have so that because people are going to know whether you're confident and you're knowledgeable of them or not, or if you're just blowing smoke up their butt. I'm going fast, as fast as I can, sorry. Lindsay and I have talked about, or I mentioned it to her, she just doesn't know that I really think that this is kind of a big deal, is creating a business builders page and not just having Team Grit and Grace. We'll still have Team Grit and Grace, but having a business builders page where we really dive in a little bit deeper and they get kind of more time with us and more exclusive trainings. If you're hitting Success Club every month, if you're bringing on 1 or 2 new coaches, and that doesn't mean they have to be business coaches, just adding to your downline because those downline numbers will help you build rank. And it creates FOMO for those people who aren't qualifying. They get those exclusive trainings, but then we would still have those chats, once a week with people who are not necessarily business builders. But we want to work with those people who are ready to build their business, and Success Club is a non-negotiable. And it's something that it's only 3 people a month. And if you're talking with enough people, if you're sharing consistently on social media, you can hit those 3 people every single month. But that really shows that you are serious about creating a business and creating an income. Or if we don't do that business builder page, we can do mastermind calls with the runners, the people who really are walking the walk and not just talking the talk. Another thing that Maura Kabusa, I don't remember her last name, but she splits her month in half, which I think is really awesome. She sets herself a Success Club goal. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, but she has to hit that Success Club goal within the first 2 weeks or she's screwed. Oh, well, she didn't hit her Success Club goal because the next 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of the month, she's helping her personally sponsored coaches hit Success Club because that helps them gain momentum, but that also helps her build an income. So think about that when you're working with your downline coaches, splitting your personal month in half and just making those first 2 weeks of the month to hit your Success Club goal. Mine's always 10. So I would have to hit 10 in the first 2 weeks, and then I could spend the last 2 weeks helping my personally sponsored coaches or you guys if you guys need some help hitting Success Club. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to share with you, this was from Trina Gray. She said all roads lead to adding to my team because, again, building a team is what's going to grow that income, not just selling products. We need to build that team. So she said when she shares about inviting to her team, she has 5 top tips. She says, number 1, you're going to be surrounded by positive people with goals that are similar to yours, and you get to choose your coworkers. I mean, in what job do you get to choose the people you work with, right? 2, it helps you stay committed to your own health and fitness journey. It becomes a forever thing rather than just a 21-day thing. Number 3, and she puts this in the middle for a reason. Number 3, you get to enjoy a 25% savings. Number 4, you can earn extra income at home, in your own time, help with breathing room, help pay for groceries, whatever. And then 5, you can experience more adventure with the ability to travel, go on fitness trips, and world-class conventions. So those are her top 5 reasons to invite to her team, and she shares those with potential prospects. And she buries that discount in the middle because she doesn't want people to join their team just simply for the discount. So I'm going to leave you with this. This is something that Melanie Mitchell always says. She says, some will, some won't. Oh, well, who's next? Our job, our mission is to help as many people as possible, but we're not going to drag them along. If they're not ready, they're not ready. We're still going to love them, but we have to, I'll share it. I have it typed up on my phone. But we're not going to drag them because we don't want them to, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Look down on us, that's not the word, but anyway, so some will, some won't. Oh, well, who's next? Help as many people as possible, but don't drag people along.
That was awesome. I took tons of notes. I'm a teacher too. Lindsay Wythe, you're first on my list.
Of course I am. All right. So some of the biggest things that I took from the trip was Rachel Hollis, really the very first truth. I mean, come on, that was our very first main event thing, and her thing, what got you here will not get you there. And she was talking a lot about how anytime you go to repeat a success, you are going to have to up your ante. You're going to have to put more in. And I thought of not just my business, but my own personal journey. Like when I first started, I was getting great results just doing the workouts and not tuning in necessarily my nutrition. But then as my body got used to it and as I started progressing, I needed to do more to get the same result. And the same thing goes for our business. And so that was really huge. And just her entire thing was fantastic. And I really could have spent 3 days just listening to her. But I get caught up all the time, and I love to learn. I love to study. I love to dig deep and read and read and read, but I fall behind on the applying it. I don't necessarily take and put it into action. So that for me was huge. I needed to make sure that I set a time and say, okay, I'm going to do this section of personal development, but then I'm going to apply it today. What did I do? What did I learn that I can apply that moment? And that to me was just absolutely huge. Part of the trainings that I really liked was setting a goal for yourself of like, what do you consider your weekly income to be, to allow it to be a income producing business. So what do you need so that you're saying, okay, I'm making enough to say this is a business. I'm doing enough that I'm getting enough out of it. And I loved that when they went through that and just going through, okay, if that's what you're doing, then these are the things you need to do. And a lot of them were the same steps. A lot of them were being the product of the product, the vital behaviors, what we know we're supposed to be doing, but doing it better and doing it with intention. So one thing I did with that is I said, for me, I would like an income of $200 a week. That for me would change my family completely. It would almost double our monthly income if I could do that at this point. And so I really had to sit down and be like, okay, if that's what I want to do, what do I need to do? And I looked at our calendar, and I have put already on my calendar that I'm having a business hour, a power hour, every single time Sarai's in therapy. Sarai has 4 hours of therapy every single week that I literally am sitting in a waiting room. And every single one of her therapies has Wi-Fi. Every single one of her therapies has an outlet that I can bring my laptop with me. In fact, that's what I did today. I took my laptop to one of her therapies. I plugged in and I sat there for the entire hour, and I worked on prepping posts. I worked on making connections. I worked on reaching out to people who had sent me messages while I was at Summit. I reached out and I sent at least 20 messages during that hour to anyone who I've ever heard that money is the reason they're not joining me. Because I've got, between me and Dan and my Ultimate Portion Fix promo codes, I've got 11 promo codes to give away. And so there is no reason that these people cannot be helped. And so I just sat there and powered through it. When I got back, so I got back on Sunday, and that day, Mindy messaged me asking me for my takeaways. She goes, I'm giving you till Wednesday to respond to this. And I'm like, I don't even need that. I had already written out my notes on that day, and I had a plan in place for her that I am going, like, I wrote down, I will be diamond by the end of the year. I want to be star diamond by next May, which means by the second week in August, I want to go emerald again. That gives me 3 weeks from tomorrow to be able to repeat my emerald. So I need to be talking to people and promoting it and getting it and sharing my journey. When I said I wanted to be diamond, before I even talked to Mindy, I was in my back office and looking, like I literally went into training and just typed in diamond. And that's where I found that from emerald to diamond training, and was like, okay, great, I'll go through this. And I really honestly thought it was going to be this little sheet, like telling me how many coaches. I was literally looking for the diamond roadmap. That's all I was looking for. And I found this training. So now I'm creating the Facebook group and getting it ready so that other people can join in. It will be opened on Monday. I've already got the group started. I've got like 90% of the posts scheduled in there. And then I realized, okay, what do I need to, the things that I need this tracker. So I put together the notebook and I literally have it, it's getting ready to be sent out to the printers in the morning. And so I will have it and it's good to go. And I love it and was able to reproduce it so that we're not reinventing the wheel and sharing it and getting that. So for me, I really am excited about the momentum. I think that I took more away this year than I did last year. And I have a feeling next year I'll take even more away, because last year was my first year. So if you've never been to Summit, that I just want to say, if you've never been to Summit, if you're like, oh, I'm a discount coach, what am I going to get out for it and all of that? I felt the same way last year. The way they reworked it this year with having our trainings per rank was amazing. I got so much more information out of those trainings than I did last year. Last year I was so overwhelmed because they were talking about stuff that would apply to like Lindsay or Christy or Sarah that had nothing to do with me, but I was like, okay, now what do I do with this? I'm like, I was having to wait. Okay, that's the training you guys need. What do I need? Instead, now I have training that's going to tell me what I need to be doing. And we even already set up some success partners, and we've got a text going and we're texting each other every day. Did you work out? Did you do this? Did you do that? So that, oh, I'm excited about that, Christy. Because I want to grab some more of the slides for the training that's going to be in the back office. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I took from it.
I love that. And thank you so much for taking the initiative to just share that in the team page and do that for everybody. And I think it's amazing that you and Jillian both just like went into the back office, found the training you needed. Like, you know what your goal is. There is nothing more like that can make you more successful than you just having that intrinsic desire and burn to make it happen. Like, don't wait for someone to help you make it happen. Don't wait for someone to make it happen for you. Find what you need and then run with it. And that's exactly what y'all are doing by creating the group, going into the back office and finding the training, making your pods and your success partners. That is bomb. I love that. Tara, you're next on my list.
Hello. You guys hear me? Okay. Alrighty. Bear with me. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. I feel like a mom. Don't moms get like 4 hours of sleep? I can't even like function. So you all gave some great feedback. So I thought I would just kind of flip through my notes, and I took detailed notes. I think I'm more of like the Cliff Note version of a teacher. I'm in education as well, but I tend to do like more Cliff Notes. So I thought I would just share. I wrote down like a lot of different quotes or different things that really stuck out to me. So I thought I would kind of read those off and talk a little bit about them. The first one was purpose and passion is the best alarm clock. And that for me, when I heard that, I was like, yes, like it's not the motivation that gets you out of the bed. It's not like, oh, I need to go work out, or is everything okay, Lindsay? Oh, keep going. Okay. And I think, when we don't have a purpose or we don't have a passion, or we don't have those goals right in our face, that's when we kind of lose sight of those things. And so I've been actually working around, suddenly my laptop started updating. Okay, I can't see anyone except for Lindsay, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm just going to keep going.
Sorry. My
you
phone,
good?
my computer started updating and changed the screen, and I couldn't find you, but I could still hear you. And I was like, oh God, am I still recording?
Oh, okay.
But we're good.
Also, pardon my blanket tube top. It's because I'm not wearing a bra. I'm like, I always have hard nipples for some reason. So. We're all women on here, right? Okay. Like today at the gym, side note, I forgot the padding in my sports bra and I had a shirt over because I work out at Orange Theory 4 times a month and my nipples were hard the entire class. I mean, the entire class. Oh, and at one time one was hard, one was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Anyway. Okay, focus, Tara. Okay. Focus. All right, now I'm getting sweaty. Okay, so purpose and passion. So actually it seems like everyone has like come back from Summit and is really pumped, and I'm there too, but I felt like I needed a few days to kind of now Lindsay's taking it off. I feel like I needed a few days to kind of process and like get my life organized. So I've been working on writing positive affirmations on note cards, and I've been in the process of putting them on my mirror. For a while, I had one that said, like, I am emerald, I am ruby, I am diamond, and all of those have been ripped off because I've accomplished them. So it's time to like add some new ones in there. The next thing was actually Melanie Mitro. We all know her. And I thought she had which I'm not surprised, but she had a super organized presentation and training. And she actually, and I can get a little bit emotional now thinking about it, because I think at some point we all feel like we're not, like we can't do something. And whether we're looking at other people who are accomplishing so much more, or maybe they're getting so many more Success Club points, or maybe they're making so much more income, or maybe they have more followers, or whatever the case may be. But she said, why not me? And that, I don't know what it was about that phrase, but it just like stuck on my heart and in my gut. And I was like, Tara, why not you? Like, you are just like, that's right, Christy, why not me? Exactly. Like, you know, they, not that they're not special, but they are just doing the 4 vital behaviors. They're consistent, they're getting up, they're doing it when they don't want to do it. And you know, I have a lot of plans for my life and goals, and I know you all do too if you're on this call. And you know, and I think we have so many self-limiting beliefs about ourselves. And anyway, that just really hit home. Why not me? So write that down somewhere. The other thing that I like that she talked about is sometimes, and I know Christy, you've talked about this too, like we can like get so overwhelmed with like the preparation of everything and wanting to make perfect lists or have everything put together, but just not starting. And I thought she made a really great point. She said when she wakes up, and she has a really great, she's really great at speaking and helping you visualize what she's going through. And she said, every morning I wake up, I put my feet on the floor and I say, what can I do to make an impact in the season I am in today? And whether that is sharing a fun new recipe that you tried, or maybe it is a really awesome article about, you know, making easier dinners for a family of 5, and you have a friend that's dealing with that struggle. It's just, I think we often don't think about these small little things that we can be doing right now, today, that can make an impact next month, the following month, you know, over the holiday season. We don't realize that these little seeds that we're planting, or these little crumbs that we're dropping, can make a really big impact. And we try to plan and prepare, and I'm saying we, and this may not be you, but I know this is me, as I try to plan and have this glorious plan and then I never execute it. So I need to get better about just like starting and doing something, because that little something is going to turn into something a lot bigger in the long haul. Another thing she talked, I don't know how much time I have, Lindsay. I mean, I'll share a few more things. I want everyone to have an opportunity. But she talked a lot about finding opportunities in every obstacle, because I think in life we're going to be having obstacles, right? That's just part of living, and things are going to happen, right? We're going to have sickness, or test your testimony. Yes, Christy, exactly. And we have a lot of coaches that do a great job. Raina is someone that I think about off the top of my head, because she has a lot of health issues that go on day to day, but just in the day-to-day life, that you can really use that story when you're ready to open up and be a little bit more vulnerable. And, you know, when I do kind of get that courage to open up about something, it's amazing the kind of feedback that I've gotten when I've talked about being single and, you know, really wanting to get married one day and have a family, and like really opening up about that vulnerable part of my life. I mean, I never had so many comments on a post before. So I think, you know, using those obstacles, you know, people can relate, because you're not the only one in that. So when you're brave and when you're ready to kind of open up about obstacles, it definitely can do a lot for your business. Let's see if I can share one more thing. Rachel was awesome. She was, I mean, I could probably listen to that over and over. She just had, and she talked about it too, because I wrote it down. She said, immediate action, repeat. And I think that is one big thing that I'm taking away with me, is taking immediate action. And I've been reading the book, Eat That Frog. And Lindsay, you recommended to me. I think I was telling Kelly about that, because the whole premise about the book is to get rid of those hard things first. And I like procrastinated reading the book for like 8 months, because I knew what the book was about. And I just think it's kind of funny that the book is about getting started, and I never started the freaking book until my vacation. But anyway, that's life. So I think that's all. I'll let other people, I mean, I have a lot of other notes, but I want to give other people time to share as well.
I like that. Thank you. Jackie, you're next on my list.
Well, one of the things I was going to talk about, Christy already covered. And that was when she talked about 5 reasons for people to join. I really, really liked that, and I wrote those down. But something I really wanted to emphasize, this really isn't necessarily about building your business, but I want to emphasize how amazing Summit is. This is the 4th time that I've gone. I missed it last summer, and I was extremely bummed about it. I had bought my ticket the summer before. I thought I could make it work having twins. And it just wasn't going to work for me and my family. And I also had a really good friend's wedding that weekend. But I was really bummed, and watching all of you be there and I not being able to be there was like a dart in the heart for me, because I knew how much of a game changer it is. I know, like, having that time with your team is so amazing. Like, the workshops are great. The general sessions are great. Learning about the new products are great. Applauding for other people is great. But being with the people that you talk to online every day, that you text every day, meeting people that you honestly never have met in person, like, I can't even explain it to you. Like, the first year I went with Lindsay and Erica and a former coach of mine, Mandy. There was 4 of us. I had known Lindsay from college, and Mandy was a good friend of mine, and I had never met Erica in my entire life. And then we had 10 people, and then we had 30, and we've had a little over 30 the last 3 years. And you meet all these people that you don't know, but yet you do know at the same time. And it's like, I love that part. Like, that is probably and it's not because of socializing, and it's not because of going to a piano bar or having dinner. It's just because, like, you're team building, like, you're learning more about them, and you're forming that to better yourself and your business. Like, in turn, it is doing that for you by going to these things, like these live events. And the summit event is obviously the biggest live event that Beachbody does. And it's just so amazing. And I know there are so many people that are so hesitant about going, and because of their families, or they're not sure if they can afford it, or like whatever. I mean, I don't know if you saw my post today, but when I saw Anita Myron post that she had a coach on her team who brought her baby, and she was freaking nursing her baby on Saturday morning at 6:00 with 20,000 other people working out. Like, if she can freaking go to Summit, like, you can go to Summit. Okay. It's just, I can't explain it unless you go. Like, and all of you that have been to Summit, whether this was your first one, your third, your fourth, or your fifth one, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I freaking loved even just the road trip, like the road trip back home. Like, even though it was so sad to like come home, like, we had the freaking awesomest time ever. Like, it took 5 people to put Energize in my damn freaking water bottle. Like, it's just so awesome. Like, oh, it's so amazing. And in turn, it builds your business, and it builds the connections that you have with your team, so you can help build them. So that was one thing I really wanted to say. Another thing this is probably the first summit I didn't take a bazillion notes. I just kind of like took it all in and took a little bit of notes. But I did take some on my phone, and in my notebook, depending on what was in front of me. And the one thing that Lindsay Wythe had said was about what got you here will not get you there. That was something that really blared at me. But the other one that really blared, and it's because I've gone through it, is comparison is the death of joy and momentum. Comparison will slow you down, because I've been there. I have been 1-star diamond for 3 years. And there are many days that like is a shot in the heart to myself. And I know it's on me, like, and I've owned that at this point. But if you were to ask me like 2 or 3 years ago, like, I could blame everybody under the sun as to why it wasn't better than that. And I would compare myself constantly, specifically to Lindsay and Erica. They were the 2 I was closest to at the time. And like, why aren't I advancing? And it was on me. But like, I also know I've been going through a lot of seasons of life the last 3 years between, for those of you that don't know me really well, I commuted to the job that I have right now. I commuted 600 miles a week for 2 years. And I planned my wedding to Ryan in 6 months. We got pregnant a year later with freaking twins, right? Like, how does that happen? Because I don't know how that happened. And then we moved to be closer to my job because I got pregnant with twins. And now we're trying to build a house. Like, it's one thing after another. And I've been struggling finding that quote unquote balance. I know it's like not really balance, but like, just, I guess, finding your priorities and being able to work them all in. But comparison sucks, and it put me in a really dark hole to the point where I actually considered quitting at one point. And I am so glad I never quit, because, and I tell people this today. I actually talked to my financial advisor last week or the week before. I think it was last week, right before I left. And he asked me about something about Beachbody, and I told him, I said, if I were to not make a single dime, I would never quit, because it's lifted me up so much over the last 4.5 years inside of me, as well as outside of me, and the income. But it's just, in comparison, it's just not worth it. You are different than Lindsay. You're different than Christy. You're different than Tara. You're different. I mean, you're all different, and you all learn differently and you grow differently, and you have your own priorities and you have your own hardships and your own trials in life. And you got to figure out how to do it for you and what works for you. And comparing yourself to, I compare myself to Lindsay all the time, only because not only is she a good friend, but she's a teacher like me and she's a mom like me. And I'm like, how can she do all of these damn things and I can't figure out how to do it? But I'm getting to the point where I have to stop, because even though Lindsay and I are alike, we're not the same person and we don't live the same life. So that's all I have to say.
Preach. Tanya, I have you up next. And this was Tanya's first summit. I think that's important to note.
Yeah. So you guys have to forgive me because I don't normally like to be in front of the camera or to participate when we're doing these kind of things, but I've been really trying to push myself out of my bubble, especially since going to this summit. I really had to dig deep, and I think the reason why I went is because it was really sitting hard on my heart of whether or not I wanted to continue with Beachbody. I've had a rough go at it. My first coach just up and quit on me, and my team was kind of like just scattered and non-existent. And so I went out for a little bit, and then I missed it. I missed the workouts. I missed the accountability. And I just so happened to have a coworker who was coaching Blair. And so I told her, I was like, look, I really need a coach. I just need the discount back. Can you add me? Let me be a discount coach for you so I can help you and you help me get my discount. And she was like, sure. And so when I started back, I really tried, and I had a couple people sign up under me. And I was giving it my all, and I was doing really good with my workouts. And then I hurt myself, and my people just left. And like everybody else says, we've just all went through our seasons, and it's been tough. And so I haven't really shared, and people didn't really know me, but I went into Summit with like an open mind and trying to be outgoing. And I really pushed myself to say hey to everyone and get hugs and introduce myself. And I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad that I went, because I came back with more than just, purpose and reason to go and try to do this coaching thing more. I came back with friendship. I came back with better self-confidence. I mean, I went my entire vacation and my entire trip with you guys without putting on 10 tons of makeup or covering myself up, and it was just freeing. I think that was the best way it was a freeing experience. And so with that, I've been able to like share more, and I've been active on Instagram. And so some of the notes that I took is it's gonna echo a lot of what you've already heard, but there was a couple that presented this flywheel. And on the flywheel is a little circle, and it says, mindset. Decide what you think, feel, and will do, and detach from the decisions of others, which I thought was really, really important to me, because that's something that I struggle with. It's like, if people aren't following me, if people aren't in, my challenge groups, if they're not participating, then what does that mean about me? I'm failing, And so I said, then the next thing was model, show through actions and not words. You need to motivate by encouraging, sharing, advising, and answering. And then mentor, work close with those that actually are showing up. And then multiply by repeating alongside of your other coaches. So with this flywheel, there was what they called purpose. And it said, well, I'm going to go with posture. The first thing was posture. Posture is the belief in what you have and what you're doing, regardless of anyone's acceptance or approval. and we all go through seasons. So it doesn't require belief in yourself. It just requires belief in the product. You know, believing what the company does, what our trainers do, the opportunity that we have, the products that we have, and what they've done for others. And then purpose. It's not the thing that you do. It's the thing that happens in others when you do what you do. So how to posture. Posturing for me was an important one because I struggle with sharing and offering, you know, opportunity, and I worry about the no's, and, you know, I feel icky when we start talking about the pricing. And so for me, they had something really important in there, was like, just see if they're open and then detach yourself from the outcome. Because like they said before, you know, them being motivated, that's their job. That's not my job. And then give them an out before they ask. So for me, that was a big one, because honoring their decision and not letting it change yours. Some examples of it were, I don't know if you would be interested in an accountability community, but if you are open to it, I'd love to share more. So they gave examples of how you could have an open conversation and not leave it in such an awkward where you're just waiting for them to say yes or no, where you would say, this is what I have to offer. I'm just going to put it out there for you. You decide if this is something that you want. Another way that I wrote down was, no big deal if this isn't for you, but have you ever thought about doing what I do? So I was like, that's a cool way to throw it out there. And then another one was, no sweat. I think this one was my favorite. No sweat. I run a group every month. Would love to have you if and when you are ready. So for me, you know, money with people that are local to me or people in my family is always an issue. And it's always no. And they go into this list of all of these bills, and I'm like, all right, this made me feel more confident in saying, you know what, I'm going to be over here. Come holler at me when you're ready, when you've put the money aside, you know, to invest in yourself. And so what I will say is that just from me sharing the trip, like I made it, you know, I made it up in my mind that before, when I was on vacation with my family, before I got there with you guys, that I was going to share my vacation. That way it wouldn't be weird when I got to Summit and I started sharing all of these pictures and things that were going on, and kind of got into the habit. So one of my coaches that left, which is also a really close friend, has been watching the stories, and she's like really excited, and she's been talking to me about Summit and how she wished she had went, because I had like tried to talk her into it before I even went, because I was like, I don't know anybody but Lindsay, you know, like I follow all of these people, but they don't really know me and we don't really interact, but like I'll leave a comment here or there, right? And so I was like, go with me. I don't want to go by myself. I want to have somebody that, because for me, it's like I try to find somebody that I can stick to, and then and go. But then I really pushed myself out of my comfort zone when I got there, because I wanted to make sure that I was interacting with everyone. So like I wouldn't hang out with the same people. I would go and I'd walk back with someone else, or I would sit beside someone else when I was sitting over there so that I could talk to them. And so what I'll tell you is that Tracy has signed back up, and that she is talking about going to Summit next year. So she is ready to commit and get back into it. So she just got a challenge pack. So now I will have Jimmy under me, and I will have Tracy under me. Jimmy's my husband. And so that will put me back on the board.
That is awesome. Congrats.
Yep.
That is so awesome. Huh.
Now I got to keep it going. Like you said, it's my job.
Keep that momentum.
Yep.
That is so, I love that. Would you go live in the team page and share that one day this week? Keep the momentum going, Tanya.
Y'all
I
are
just
really
think it's such a
pulling
good
me out of this.
message. You just
Yeah.
like decided, I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to own it. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to share it even when it makes me uncomfortable. And now look look at the fruits of your labor. Like,
Yeah.
that's so
I'm really,
great.
really excited. And then I spoke to Sarah and Kimberly while we were on the trip, and we're talking about doing a challenge group together that focuses on nutrition. And me and Kimberly are like going to be buddies and just accountability. And we've already, from the training, what we've learned was what everybody else said. It's not our job to keep them motivated. We have to focus on our own goals. So even if it's just us in the group, we're going to reach our goals that we set for ourselves this year.
Exactly. I love that. Linnea, you're next on my list. Oh, is Linnea frozen? Oh, no, there she is.
No, my video likes to freeze up.
Okay.
I have to stop and restart it. Pardon my blanket. The air conditioning is blowing on me at the moment. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this coherent and quick because I've been up since 4:15 and it's way past my bedtime. All right, so my big takeaways from Summit. The first one really, it came from, where is my screenshot? I took a lot of pictures instead of notes. The visuals really helped me. So it came from Emily and Ashley's presentation in the general session, and it was really about focusing on branding and figuring out and sharing who you are and not just what you're doing. So I am already trying to work on sharing a little bit more of who I am and my day-to-day stuff versus just, hey, I worked out today. Hey, this is my pre-workout. Because that's all really, really, really easy for me at this point. So I need to expand it and do something to shake things up. And that's going to be focusing on just sharing more of me, which is not an easy thing for me to do because I am more confident than I used to be, but I am still not the most confident of people. So yes, that's big number one, sharing my brand. Also reconnecting with the purpose of all of this. It's not what I'm doing, it's how what I do affects other people. So I need to figure out how to share what I do in a way that connects with where somebody else is, so that it helps them get started in making their own changes. That's going to go along with, it was during Jade's presentation about embracing resurrection. So I need to make big changes, and that means kind of a little bit of getting rid of what I used to do and resurfacing as a little bit of something else. And I need to embrace that and bring every part of yourself to every single table every single time. It's about sharing more of who you are, and not hiding it. And I'm not always great at that because I like to do what everybody else does and show the highlight reel. So really, those are my big things that I need to focus on right now. That probably wasn't the most coherent way to share it all, but I hope it made sense.
That a lot of people got that takeaway. Like, don't just talk about fitness. Like, that was we got a training in one of our things about challenge groups, and it was saying, like, stop talking about workouts in your challenge groups. People are in there because they're working out. They want to talk about something else. Like, and that blew my mind. What else are you going to talk about in there? But yeah, that's good. Lindsay, I see you're on your iPhone. Are you able to share anything, or do you want me to wrap up? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, I can share. I just had my video off. It saves battery. I took away a lot of things. It was my first time to go to Summit, so I was really excited and a little overwhelmed. As my roommates already know, my journey to and from wasn't so great, but being at Summit was amazing, and traveling just sucks for me. Anyways, what I took away from Summit was a lot of what some other people have already touched on was one of the things that resonated with me was the why not me, and everything is figure outable. I really like that. Another one I liked was the comparison thing, and the whole theme was you belong here, because I've never really felt like I belong anywhere, like ever. Even sometimes in within the team, on social media, I never really felt like I belonged, because most of the team, you guys are moms and stuff, and my husband and I can't have children at all, and we've done all the fertility drugs and hormone therapies and all this shebang, gone through all of the processes, and it was just a no-go for us. But anyways, so that was a big takeaway for me. Another takeaway for me was the take action, and sorry, I lost my notes just for a second. Was the celebrate your wins, and even the small ones. I've lost over 35 pounds with Beachbody, and I've never once celebrated that, because I'm not where I want to be physically, so I don't want to celebrate and be like, look, I did this, and then be comfortable where I'm at. And I think that's not something everybody can do, because I've never really, and I need to follow the nutrition more. It says you can't out-train a bad diet. I've never really followed the nutrition fully. I've just worked out because I live in a camper. I can't really meal prep. My fridge is so small. I may be able to meal prep for a day and a half, and that's it. I got to go back to the store and get more food. So I struggle there too. But I think that's it. I really just enjoyed Summit and getting to meet everybody. That was a huge takeaway for me. I really had fun, and it was great. Another thing, what was it? Oh, you're not there to impress. You're there to make an impact. That was really good. And the applied knowledge is power. Talent and success are not the same thing. That really struck me.
I like that. I think that a lot of things you're sharing too could be part of your story. You're not the only person who struggles with meal prep. You might struggle with it for a different reason, but if you start sharing that, people are going to be like, oh, so she's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not easy for her, that kind of thing. So I like that. I'm going to wrap us up with a couple things that I took away, and then I'm going to end us with a question that really hit me. As soon as they said it, I was like, yes, this is what we need to come back from Summit as a team and start asking ourselves every day. and start and really change we have a great team culture, but we can make it even better. And this one question that they asked, I was like, that's going to make our culture better. So a couple things that I took away was this was from the Finish Line Leaders training that Christy and I went to the day prior. People don't follow what you do. They follow why you do it. So it's great that you're pushing play. It's great that you're drinking a shake. But why are you doing those things? I started doing those things because I was struggling with postpartum depression. So don't talk so much about the fact that you pushed play and you sweated out or burned a certain number of calories. Talk about why you're doing those things. 13% of our success comes from skill. 87% of our success comes from our values and our ability and willingness to work with other people. Not just challengers, but teammates. I thought that was huge. It doesn't matter how much skill you have. What matters is whether or not you're a people person, really, in this business. Another thing that really hit me when Tracy said it was to stop striving for something external, which is really easy for us to do in this business because a lot of the carrots dangling in front of us are medals and ribbons and stage time and stars and things like that. But the important part of this business is the internal shift. It's who you're becoming. And that really hit me because I think about who I am today compared to who I was 5 years ago when I started. If I had not found Beachbody, I would probably still be in a very toxic situation and I would not be happy. And I wouldn't have been able to get out of it without Beachbody. Care more about who you are than what you achieve. Those were all really big for me because, you know, some of us have gone to Summit the last 2 or 3 years at the same rank without a new ribbon, myself included. And sometimes that's hard to swallow. It's hard to see people walking across stage that started when you started or started after you started. And here they are, number 18 in the company or, you know, whatever. And I say that because I know the girl who's number 18 in the company. That's sometimes hard to swallow. But think about where you are in your season of life and how this business has impacted you. Something else that Kim Carver talked about was the ugly duckling. And I started to really relate that to the people that I'm speaking to because I used to feel like an ugly duckling. I used to feel like I didn't fit in anywhere. And I didn't look like the other girls. I remember actually Christy and I were talking about the fact that my legs are so big because she said, but you hate your legs. And I was like, I'm learning to love them. But I remember in school, I was a big soccer player. And I remember looking at other girls' legs and seeing how thin they were and wishing my legs looked like that. I felt like the ugly duckling because I had thick thighs because I played soccer. But we're all of us, every single human being on this planet is a recovering ugly duckling. And so we need to help other people see the swan inside, and we need to see our own swan inside. That really hit me hard. I thought that was a fantastic message. When Rachel Hollis was up there, the big level up message about what got you here won't get you there. I needed to hear that because I've been doing the same things I was doing the first time I hit elite, and I need to do something different now. Another thing that really hit me, and I talked about this a little bit this week in some of my posts, was that I chose this life. I chose for stuff to get hard. And I chose for it to get hard because I don't want my life to look like everybody else's. I want to be able to buy my kids a house. I don't want to live in an apartment with my kids, even though I'm going through this season of life I'm in. And so the only way that I could have made that happen was by choosing the life that there's nothing wrong with that. This is what I wanted for us. You know, we're choosing to show up every day, not because it's easy. It's hard, but we're choosing it because we know the benefits of it. And so that really hit me too. This is another one. What she does has no effect on you, whoever she is. And sometimes in my mind, I need to say what he does has no effect on me, whoever he is. You know, stop comparing their highlight reel to your real life. That was big for me. Like we talk about that a lot, like the fact that we're more than what we share on social media, but we need to remind ourselves that so are the other people we're following. There's a lot more behind that person than what they're sharing with us too. Unless we know them personally and have a relationship with them, we don't know what their real life is like. And there's a lot of other stuff, but I have a feeling I'm going to just start using it in some team calls and start doing some trainings on it. But the last thing that really hit me was shared by one of the leaders in my leadership trainings. Can't remember who it was. But they said, you have to stop asking what your team can do for you and start asking what you can do for your team. And I think all of us, regardless of what rank or how long we've been coaching, have at some point found ourselves in this situation where it's like, well, my upline's not supporting me, or she doesn't like my pictures as much as she likes so-and-so's, or she, I texted her and it took her 6 hours to respond. I bet it doesn't take her that long to respond to so-and-so. Stop asking, what is this person supposed to be doing for me, or what is my team supposed to be doing for me? And instead start asking, how can I add to this? If it's like a democracy. Stop asking what you can do for your country or what your country can do for you. Start asking what you can do for your country. We need to feel the same way about our team. This is our team. So we all need to contribute. We all need to lead. We all need to step up and own it because it's our team. That really hit me in a good way. Because I really had found myself in a place where I felt like I needed to be doing more. I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't serving enough. I wasn't, showing up for every single person the way they wanted me to show up. And then it hit me in a lot of my trainings. It's not my job. I'm leading a team, but I'm not your motivator. I'm not your mom. I'm not the one who's going to say, okay, show me your bat. Did you do it? That's not my job. My job is to lead and to be unapologetic about it, and to stop worrying so much about whether or not I'm stomping on toes or hurting people's feelings or not doing everything perfect. Because if I'm not doing something perfect, then maybe somebody else on our team is more gifted in that area and they could step up and do it. So that was a big takeaway for me. All right, I'm going to stop us here. And I know we went way over our normal time frame. To those of you that stuck it out, thank you. To those of you watching the recording, it's well worth it. And I hope you ladies have a great week, and we will get back on our normal team schedule calls ASAP. Love y'all.